Yes, people. It's your boy Shazad. We're back again on the finished article, all things wrestling. And today's episode, we are going to be bringing on a guest from another podcast called Austin. Before I go into anything, I'll be bringing on my co-host, boy Shazad. How are we, bro? We good?
Good man. Glad to be back on. Hope
Yeah, man.
had a good weekend.
Definitely, man. Yeah, man. A bit of a quiet weekend from our part on the finished article. But we're back again Monday evening with another video. So as always, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment on the channel. We're now on the race to 200. So thank you everyone who's helped us reach the 200 mark. And as we said, we are going to be doing a live draw. We were meant to do it yesterday, but we had other personal issues to attend to. So we're going to try and either do that today or tomorrow. So you've still got a chance to join it. Just make sure your subscription is visible and we'll get you added in straight away.
I just dropped myself and Shaz a message on our Twitter handles, as you can see them below, and we'll add your name in.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And also we've got the finished article Twitter and Facebook scrolling across the bottom. So you can always send them through to there and we'll pick it up from there. But without further ado, we'll bring in on the co-host Austin from Wrestling World Podcast. Here we go. Hi, Austin.
Hey, what's going on, man? Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for coming on, man. Really appreciate it. For anyone who doesn't know, Austin has his own podcast, World of Wrestling. Me and Shaz were guests on it. And what I'll do is once this video is on YouTube and everywhere, I'll leave the link in the description so you can go check out the conversation that we had with Austin. It was a blast.
Absolutely. One not to miss.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. So how have you been, Austin, since last time we spoke?
I'm doing great, man. You know, just been busy living life. How you guys been?
Yeah, same, man. Just working, busy.
Yeah.
So obviously since we last spoke, I think a little bit on WWE's part has changed, and obviously AEW's had quite a little bit of a. We've had the obviously Jericho versus the Juice match, which I really enjoyed seeing them face off after so long again.
Yeah, man. Great match, I gotta say. They put on a good show. They obviously had a feud that dates back from years and years ago, so it was cool. Cool to see those definitely go at it. So, and Chris Jericho being the age he is, man, he just put on a good show.
Yeah, man. At his age, putting on the type of matches he's doing, it's just a credit to his skills and his technique.
Yeah, definitely. Even at his age, he could still perform at a high level.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. I know Shaz, I don't know if you caught it, Austin, but on Friday we did an episode where me and Shaz, I asked Shaz about his first experience watching AEW. He's only watched the first ever episode, and we did a little podcast on his thoughts on it. It was really, really interesting, man.
Yeah, I have to say it was quite refreshing, as I mentioned on the podcast.
Yeah, man, you did, yeah.
Kind of took me back to the throw days of WWE back in the day. Just creative storylines and just generally it was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, no, definitely, man, definitely. Definitely. I think AEW's it's different to the WWE product in a lot of different ways. I like both of them. I mean, I like watching AEW because it's new, it's fresh, the ideas are different, the talent's younger, the talent's, some of the talent's just out of this world. But then on AEW side, on WWE side, you've got some good storylines going on in NXT, and you've got the Roman Reigns, the Bloodline storyline on SmackDown, which I'm really enjoying. Unfortunately, there's not much on Raw that I'm enjoying. I will be honest. So I hardly watch Raw. I forward most of it and just catch the little bits of it.
Guys, I want to ask you a question. So I'm going to put this comment on the chat. Go for it, Austin. Yeah, Karen.
Right. I think SmackDown stands out when it comes to WWE with the whole Roman Reigns basically carried SmackDown. If you look at all them, to be honest, with this whole Goldberg and Lashley feud, I don't think this is going anywhere. The last thing you want to see is Goldberg in a title picture. That's my honest opinion.
No, that's 100%. I agree with you on that. I mean,
no, I agree, and this is what myself and I think we discussed this last time on your podcast, that why we're bringing back legends, try and give these guys a lift over. So I mean, like we said, give them a match, but don't give them a title match, because them winning does nothing for anyone. It's like promoting.
I mean, the younger talent beating the legends puts the younger talent over.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and that makes more sense, especially with the age of Goldberg and some of the other people that they're bringing back. I mean, they've not got much left in the tank. And I think since the last time, obviously, we spoke, WWE have released some more talent.
I want to ask you guys a question. So one of the things I wanted to bring up was this here. So I've heard that
baby.
I've heard that his contract is reportedly up after SummerSlam, and he's on the job market. What are your thoughts?
I'll let Austin go first on that one.
Now, obviously, Adam Cole, I think he's in a good position with NXT, but are there better opportunities with him for AEW? Of course, you could see Adam Cole versus Kenny Omega. We could see Adam Cole versus Darby Allin. So, honestly, storyline-wise, and maybe to be in a better position, I think AEW would be better. Because at this point, with all the superstars being released, to lose that, even if he does renew his contract soon, there's always that possibility.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I know Adam Cole's girlfriend, Britt Baker, is in AEW as the AEW Women's Champion, so I mean, it would make sense for him to go across and, you know, be on that show along with his girlfriend. They'll be able to spend more time together. They'll be on the road together. Do you know what I mean? And I think it'd make more sense for him. On WWE, I don't know. I mean, I'd hate to see Adam Cole leave, because that just means that we're not going to be able to see the Undisputed Era again. Even though they've split up right now on NXT, but there's still a possibility that they could, you know, at some point in the future be brought back together, and, you know, to have that taken away, that, you know, the hope of them being back together taken away by one of them leaving. To be fair, I mean, I think Bobby Fish got released, you know, over the weekend as well on SmackDown. So, I mean, if Adam Cole leaves, that's half of the Undisputed Era gone. And it was quite shocking to see that Bobby Fish got released. Because he's just come back from his injury that they had after the War Games match.
Expected.
Oh, I think we've lost him.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. I think he's back.
You guys be released. I didn't expect it. Honestly.
Yeah, no, definitely. I wasn't expecting Bobby Fish to be released, even especially now that he's just come back. He's just, you know, he said he was on a redemption road, you know, going after people that, you know, he had unsettled business with, like Pete Dunne and some other people. And I think he was, I believe he was feuding with Roderick Strong, who's just come back in a new faction called what are they called, Diamond Mine. And obviously with him going now, that storyline's just disappeared. How often, you know, you've just had this feud that was going on, and now it's just disappeared because WWE decided to release Bobby Fish, and there's going to be no conclusion to that. And I was really looking forward to seeing a bit of the tension that was there in the Undisputed Era between Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong, you know, into the feud that they're going to have, but. You know, that's WWE. They got rid of it. It's gone.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think from my perspective, again, we talked about this. It's WWE dropping the ball or not really having it, whichever way you want to look at it. And that's why I think AEW seems to be attracting a lot more of the talent right now. Oops, we have a technical glitch. There it is.
Oh, that's a bit better, yeah. Yeah, you're right, Shaz. I mean, I think WWE released Tyler Rust as well, who was the other member of Diamond Mine. So, you know, they've just started a new faction with Roderick Strong and Tyler Rust, and they've just got rid of one of them. So, what was the point in starting this faction just to get rid of one of the talent in it? It's bizarre that the way they're doing these things, man. It's I don't know, man. I'm getting fed up with the way WWE are doing things at the moment. It's just really bizarre, man.
Yeah. I mean, 12 guys to be released from NXT when they went live on SmackDown. Just
yeah,
yeah,
it was just after SmackDown.
Bronson Reed was very shocking.
Yeah, Bronson Reed, another one. He was their former North American champion, and now he's gone. Jack Atlas, Leon Ruff, you know, it's just really weird that these, you know, I think Bronson Reed was the winner of the Breakout Superstar Tournament last year. So obviously they thought highly of him to have him win that tournament, and now they've just released him a year after. It's just crazy. And obviously, I think the other news that I heard at some point last week was Ric Flair's been released from his contract, but that was more on the side that Ric Flair asked for his release, and he was given it. It wasn't the fact that WWE just got rid of him. I think Ric Flair was maybe a bit fed up with the way he's being used and utilized, and he thought maybe, you know, he could make better use of himself elsewhere.
Is it hardly surprising though the way they're treating people? You got legends now. You're bringing back legends like Goldberg. You got John Cena, Fruity Pebbles coming back onto the show. I mean, guys, we're in 2021 and we're watching reruns of like 2016. I mean, come on, start using the time. That's why do you think Adam Cole wants to leave? No wonder he's been used on NXT. I think he'd do wonders on Raw, SmackDown, but that's WWE for you right now.
The thing is, if Adam Cole went to Raw or SmackDown, he'd get buried, and that his whole gimmick and character would just be pointless after that. So
not only that, but I also think that, like Adam even said before, that he would never go to the main roster. He would.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he said he wanted to stay on NXT. I think since he lost the NXT Championship, he's dropped down the pecking order a bit. And I think if he went to Raw or SmackDown, he'd be used the same way that Karrion Kross is. And to me, that's just still unbelievable what they've done to Karrion Kross on the main roster.
He lost another match, didn't he?
Yeah, he lost to Keith Lee, I believe it was, who he absolutely destroyed when he was on NXT.
That's what I mean. So the guy destroys him on NXT, yet loses it to him on the main on the main roster.
I don't even call Raw and SmackDown the main roster anymore. I can't take that word seriously when we're talking about Raw and SmackDown. It's just
no, it doesn't make sense.
No, definitely not, man. But I'm just a question for you, Austin.
With his booking, you know.
Oh, sorry, no, go ahead. I'll let you finish. But I think there's a bit of a delay. Sorry, bro. I think there's a bit of a delay when you're speaking, so I'll let you finish what you were saying there. Sorry.
Kross' booking, it really does when he is on the roster. We've seen that happen with Shinsuke and guys like him that don't get good on the main roster. So this really is surprising to me that he's booked that way, because that's just what the main roster does. To where you think they're better off staying in NXT at that point. What's the point of bringing him to the main roster just to bury their character?
Yeah, no, definitely. I definitely get where you're coming from with that. So I just wanted to ask, what at the moment, obviously, I know we've talked a lot about WWE and AEW when we were on your podcast, but out of the two, which do you prefer at the moment?
What's that? I couldn't hear. There was no.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just saying, out of the two, AEW or WWE, which do you prefer at the moment?
I prefer AEW at the moment. Now, see, I haven't watched WWE in about 2 weeks now. Obviously, with Bray Wyatt being released, I guess you can call me self, but I'm not Bray Wyatt. So there was no reason for that. So I've been watching more AEW. Just back, you know, I don't know. I'm a big Bray Wyatt part this month.
Yeah.
To where I see doubling to tell a story that people are interested in. And it takes us back to last Goldberg. You know, we don't want to see that story. And then it takes you back to SmackDown because SmackDown at the end from Reigns, Kenny, and the whole brand being in the heel.
That's it. Yeah, no, definitely. I think Roman Reigns is carrying WWE. You know, at the moment, I think he's been carrying them since he came back last year at SummerSlam. Without that storyline, I don't think there's any good storylines on the Raw or SmackDown. The only other good storyline I enjoyed before was the Hurt Business, and they got rid of that as well.
That was really good. I enjoyed that because they actually gave some context to the show and how they brought the two guys on. They were actually making moves, and then for some reason they decided to disband it. And then on top of that, you've got then Lashley. His credibility is dropping because he's not really taking on anybody that's going to do anything. Like if I watched it right now and you asked me the question after watching one episode of AEW, I'd say, you know what, I'll just carry on watching AEW until you message and say, Shaz, WWE's done something, because right now it's just on repeat mode.
Yeah. No, I get what you mean. I mean, WWE are just... I mean, like I said before, they think the fans are stupid with some of the stuff they put out there. They do something on one show and they realize it's wrong, and then they just forget about it completely and they don't mention it again like we didn't even see it. Do you know what I mean? They think everyone's just stupid.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing you mentioned that. You know, it's insulting to the fans when they do this. It's very hard. So I don't think AEW pulls something like at this point. I think at this point AEW needs to learn from their mistakes and start making the right choices. Excuse me, because this is going to hurt them down the line. Right now, I see Vince McMahon hurting his own product. I mean, it's his own fault.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I think one
to dismantle it within.
No, I think what I was just saying, one thing that they could do is, and I don't know what you guys take on this, is to shake up the sort of the writers. So you know how in NXT you've got Shawn Michaels, you've got Triple H, and a few others that you mentioned the other week, Shaz. So bring them up and start helping them rewrite some of the shows. Maybe that might improve the product from top to bottom. That could be a good idea.
The thing is with NXT, it's mainly based in is it Florida, and at the Performance Center, and I think because Shawn Michaels had the opportunity to move somewhere and just have his job from there, that's why he took it as being a coach there. I think going back on the road, I don't think he'd be happy with that, because he's got a wife and he's got kids, so I think he'd rather be at home with them. And I think it's the same with the other people within NXT. They'd rather stay at NXT because they know they don't have to do all this traveling, unless they go on a tour somewhere. And obviously, NXT are trying to go on the road more, but they were before the lockdown.
I know that's a valid point, Shaz. But then they really need to think about how, or if they can't go on tour, get people to get them mentored to say, look, somebody go shadow Shawn Michaels and understand how they should deliver the storylines. I mean, come on, these guys are like legends of the game. All you got to do is sit with them to pick it up.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, send the writers to NXT, to the big boys, to the big leagues, and let them learn from the minds like Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Road Dogg, A-Train, and the other lot, because those guys were around during the Attitude Era, most of it, and I think they had quite a lot of input into their characters at that time, and I think that helped them, and that's helping them now in what they're doing with NXT. And I think the new writers in Raw and SmackDown, some of them don't even like wrestling. Some of them aren't even wrestling fans. And that's where the problem is. They need to get rid of the writers that don't know anything about the product.
Exactly.
And they need to bring in people that do. Like us three. We'll do it.
Yeah, I'll happily do it. I'll happily do it for free.
I'll take Raw. You take SmackDown, bro.
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, sorry, Austin.
Yeah, there's a delay. I'm sorry about that, guys.
No
funny you mentioned the writers, because the writers a lot of times, like you said, are not wrestling fans. They're hiring writers who are used to writing movie scripts that have no idea about the wrestling. So, like when you get, so I said you should hire wrestling fans. Stop hiring these movie writers.
Yeah,
because you see what that's doing now with the product. It's hurting the product as a whole.
I mean, and I think the problem is that what WWE are doing now on TV, Vince doesn't have a problem with it. Otherwise, he'd shake things up. He'd be doing something about it.
You know why he doesn't have a problem with it? Because he's been running that brand for so long that he doesn't understand that it needs to change because it's got so stale and boring. But he doesn't see that because he's been in the business for so long. He needs to take a step back and say, look, okay, my product's actually getting damaged right now, so I need help. In fact, you know what I'd do? This is a really controversial view. I'd get AEW to invade WWE and literally destroy them and be like, you know what, we need to up our games right now. I know this sounds random, but what better idea than to do something spontaneous?
Yeah, no, you're right, Shaz. WWE need to do something to make themselves noticed again. Like maybe, I don't know, bring Ring of Honor. Have Ring of Honor invade WWE and put on some great matches, with the Briscoes, the Usos, and some of the other tag team matches that you could have there. Some of the other talent in not NXT, apologize, AEW. So you know how when they led up to Survivor Series, where NXT was in the matches, the way NXT invaded Raw, they invaded SmackDown. I mean, that was brilliant. And that's how an invasion angle should have been done with WCW. They should have been done slowly. It should have been built up. And WWE dropped the ball on that invasion angle, because I think the way I remember reading it is Vince McMahon wasn't happy with the ratings, so he just killed the idea off at the pay-per-view. It was due to go on and on and on further down the line for another year or so, but Vince wasn't happy with. I don't think he was happy with the ratings. He wasn't. I mean, the fans weren't reacting to the WCW people the way Vince thought they would. And then Vince thought, you know what, it's not working. Let's just kill it off. And then he stopped it at the Invasion pay-per-view, which I think was a bad idea. It was a bad mistake. There was so much they could have done with the Invasion angle if they kept it going. They could have done so much more with it.
Yeah, I think that Vince is so used to doing things his way that he's so afraid to think outside of the box. You see these new promotions being outside of the box, like cross promotion, EW and Impact. You never see Vince McMahon do that in a million years. Honestly, at this point, I think as long as Vince McMahon is running WWE, we won't see something different until he steps down.
Yeah, no, that's 100%. Vince is stuck in the old ways, and I think that's what's making WWE the way it is. I think that's what's hurting the brand and the product right now, is that Vince is very, I'm guessing he's very stubborn in the way he wants the product to be, the way, he wants it to be, and not what the fans actually want to see.
There's a saying that goes in any industry that if the same person runs the same business and doesn't teach people below them how to operate it, Well, you know this. You know how that ends, guys. It's just going to end one way. It's going to end in failure. I mean, do you remember back in the day? And I know this is just one example, but they had Tough Enough, where they had people trying to compete. I don't know. This might be slightly different from what's happening, but you need to introduce talent through that sort of method to show people how WWE operates. It's the advantages it gives people. Because right now, all we see is we don't see how talent gets promoted. We just all of a sudden we see Karrion Kross on Raw. Shaz has to tell me about it and say he's lost. I'm like, right, okay, but this is a guy that was undefeated on NXT. It's kind of like when Asuka lost at WrestleMania to Charlotte 500 days. I'm like, okay, what's your angle? Why are you building up? What are you trying to sell?
That was just to put over Charlotte Flair. That's the only way I can see it. She's just, every time she comes up on TV, she wins the title. And then when she loses it, she disappears for a while. Then she comes back and wins it again. Like, she just came back on Raw. She won the women's championship, didn't she? And then obviously she lost it straight away to, is it Nikki? I can't remember who she lost it to now. Yeah, Nikki. So it's just bizarre that, you know, I think they're trying to get her the 16 world titles like Ric Flair had.
Yeah. At this point, you know, there's always that possibility that we could see her in AEW as well. But like, I think with her booking the way it's been, obviously we've seen Nikki Cross or Nikki Ash, whatever you want to call her. We've seen her, you know, become the champion. And there was also rumors that Ric Flair wasn't happy with his contract because of the way Charlotte was being booked. And I've heard that Charlotte Flair really isn't happy with the way she's being booked either. So, you know, maybe once she gets that 16 title reign or 20 title reign, whatever she gets down the road, we could see her in AEW. And if she continues to be booked that way, there's always that possibility we could see her in AEW sooner rather than later.
Yeah, no, that's true, definitely. I mean, I think she's still seeing Andrade, isn't she, who's just debuted recently in AEW. So it would make sense, just like Adam Cole, for her to go to AEW to be with like more around her partner. And Vince has to realize that now there's another promotion that's getting a lot of attention. He has to treat his wrestlers the right way. Otherwise, they're going to ask to leave. And obviously, when they ask to leave and they do leave, they're going to end up on TV again, but with AEW. That's what happened with FTR. Obviously, Ty Dillinger, who's Sean Spears in AEW. Yeah, no, sorry. I thought there was a bit of a delay there. I thought you were still speaking there. Sorry. So yeah, it is quite bizarre the way WWE book their talent. I don't know what Vince needs to hear to make it better, but let's hope he hears it soon. Otherwise, WWE is just gonna lose a lot of viewers. But I don't think that matters to Vince. He's just sold the network for $1 billion, so I think he's happy. I think it's all about money for him. And as long as he's making money, he doesn't care what the product's doing.
I definitely agree. Sad to say, but it's true.
Yeah, no, definitely. It is really bizarre. And it's sad to see the state that WWE's in now compared to what it was when we were younger and when we used to watch it, Shaz. When we used to stay up during college days to watch it. And then I'd not turn up to college the day after, and you would.
Well, yeah, I'd have to cover your back in that, so someone had to do it. But you know what? Nowadays we can't even get interested to stay up and watch Friday Night SmackDown. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I don't think I've watched a live show of WWE in years now because I know it's going to get boring at some point, and I'm going to change the channel. So I always watch it on a replay, and I end up forwarding most of the show. So Raw's about 3 hours long, and I can watch it in about, if I forward most of it, I watch it in about an hour. Maybe less, 45 minutes to an hour I watch it in. But with AEW, I've noticed that I watch it more. So it's only a 2-hour show, but I only forward little bits of it. Sorry, go on, Austin. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. With the pandemic, I thought that they struggled a lot. When they before the pandemic, they were struggling with storyline, people interested. With the pandemic passing, I figured the storylines would be better. I figured a lot would be better, but you can clearly see nothing has changed in recent weeks. It's still the
I
same
think,
product as it was
Austin,
before the
I think you've
pandemic
just
and
hit the nail on the head.
even after.
I think you've just hit the nail on the head. The pandemic should almost have been like a restart for WWE to say, look, we need to stop. This is a good chance to rethink the brand, rethink the storylines, rethink what direction we want to go in. But unfortunately, they just capitalized. I mean, the fact that they've got WrestleMania over 2 days now. I mean, let's be honest, it didn't really excite us. It was like, guys, I don't need 2 days to watch it. I just need what it's like having a World Cup final. We'll watch one half on a Saturday and watch one half on a Sunday. It doesn't make sense. It's
no, you're right, man. You're right.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, I think the only reason they did WrestleMania over 2 days the first time was obviously because there was going to be no fans. And the second time, obviously, this year was because they wanted to, obviously, they've rented the arena and they wanted to maximize the profits. So I'm guessing that's why. But obviously, in future, when there's no social distancing around, I think they'll just go back to 1 day.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, we'll have to wait till WrestleMania to, next year to see that.
No, I agree.
Yeah, I definitely agree, man. Who knows what?
Yeah, definitely, man. So, I mean, Austin, how long have you been doing your podcast for?
I started my first podcast episode October 10th, so it's almost a year. I've been doing this.
Okay.
I'd say about 10 months it's been, so.
Okay, so you started about 5 months before us.
Total plays so far.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. That's good. You started a little bit before us. We only started in March, April this year. But if you want to tell, obviously, the viewers and everyone that's going to be watching this a little bit about your podcast. Oh, sorry.
What's that?
Sorry, I was just saying, if you want to tell the people, on our podcast here a little bit about your show and where to find it, just so they know where to go.
Okay, well, I host a pro wrestling show called Wrestling World. I cover all aspects of wrestling from AEW to WWE. I also cover some MMA shows. I've done an episode about Conor McGregor and his entry at UFC 264. But most of my show is pro wrestling based. You could find it on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcast, anywhere you stream your podcast.
Nice. No, definitely go check that out. I've listened to a few episodes. It's brilliant. It's brilliant to listen to. And obviously, me and Shaz were over there on one of the shows. You'll see that as I think it does have finished article in the title, I believe. And I'll leave it in the description below this video once it's gone onto YouTube. But yeah, that's it's been really good to speak to you again, Austin, and hopefully we can get you on again, or maybe get onto your podcast in the future and do some more collaboration with you, because it's always good to speak to you, man.
Yes, thank you guys so much for having me on. I had a lot of fun, man. You guys have a great show.
No, I really appreciate your comments, man. I really do, man. Obviously, the good comments help us keep going, man. But I think we'll probably have to end it now, because obviously we wanted to keep this one a bit short because of the time over here. It is getting a bit late now, so I'll let you just leave any final comments if you want, Austin, and we'll just wrap it up.
Okay, man. Well, yeah, I definitely would like to get you again. Maybe we could do a part 2 episode if you guys are down for it, because you guys obviously have a lot of knowledge on pro wrestling, and I'll definitely be sharing this episode soon. So whenever the episode drops, let me know, and we'll put it out there for the road to see. So
the episode's actually live right now. So sorry, the episode is live right now, and as soon as it's finished, you'll be able to see it on YouTube, the Facebook page, and I think you can still see it on Twitter as well. So I'll send you the link to the YouTube channel, to the YouTube video, and obviously if you want to share it, by all means you can share that out and let your viewers and your listeners in on that. But it's been a real pleasure having you on, Austin, and hopefully we can get you on again.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks very much. Yes, Shaz.
Yes, bro. Good episode. As always.
Man. No, it's always good to have guests on, especially, Austin. I mean, we were on his podcast and we had a really good conversation there. Do apologize about the technical difficulties. I think it's just because obviously he's over in America and we're over in the UK. I think there's a bit of a delay in the audio there, and maybe a bit of a connection issue somewhere. So do apologize for the technical difficulties there. I hope you were able to hear him. If you weren't, you can find his podcast over on Anchor, Spotify, and Applecast. Please go check it out and go listen to the episode that we were on. We were over there, and hopefully we'll be back again over there with him. Yeah, Shaz, any final thoughts? Any final comments?
No, I think that was a great show. It was great to get Austin back on the podcast and discuss a wide range of issues. I think it's clear to see from Friday's podcast where I was reviewing my first episode of AEW that I think WWE over the weekend, I didn't watch it because I was out, but I saw the results and it's almost like Groundhog Day. Nothing seems to change. It's like we could probably literally just say, Shaz, what's happening? And he said, yeah, same shit every day.
Yeah, like, exactly, man. Even before the show was on, I knew obviously Roman Reigns and the Usos were going to attack Finn Balor. It was bound to happen, but we'll just wrap it up, bro. We'll wrap this one up.
But yeah, guys, as always,
we'll probably do the live draw tomorrow, maybe, because it is getting quite late.
Yeah, so stay tuned in. But I'll wrap it up with the admin as always. Please leave a like, subscribe, and comment below. You know the drill, guys. We're on the race to 200. Boom, the next big target. Yeah. A big shout out to those that have subscribed and helped us reach 100 subscribers. I believe we're on 109. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chad, but we are on the way up. So really do appreciate everyone that's shown us the love. And as always, you know the drill. Follow us on our finished article handles there on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. And you can see our handles there. So if there's anything that we've covered tonight or you'd like us to see going forward, just give us a shout. But thank you very much for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, man. And just before we do go, Shaz, please, if you do want to be part of the draw, make sure your subscription is visible before we go live with the draw, and we'll include you in it. The mystery draw is coming soon, and when I say coming soon, it's probably going to be tomorrow now. Apologies that obviously it's been delayed yet again, but we will definitely get around to it tomorrow before we do anything else tomorrow. Before we get another show out, we'll be on that tomorrow. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Again, thanks for Austin for coming up on the show and talking to us about his views on wrestling and everything. And we'll see you again on the finished article shortly.